What up, Three Dibs? My name is Vernon Smith. I started buying records back in 1988 when I was a little 14-year-old punk rock skater boy, and I continued to do so until 2005 when Hurricane Katrina came and wiped out all my records. And I said to myself, well, I can't start over again now at age 30. That'd be silly. So here I am at 48, starting over again. Isn't that silly? Anyway, welcome to the program. If you're new here, welcome aboard. If you're a returning longtime fan, welcome back. Glad you could be here. It's been about a week because took a week off for Thanksgiving vacation because my daughter was off from school and my wife's parents were in town. So I hope you all had a glorious Thanksgiving all over the world. Get it? Because it's not a global holiday. But Americans think that it is because that's what we do. Because dee. So it's been a while. Have you been? Really? Well, if you're not saying anything right now, leave a comment in the comment section. And while you're there, don't forget to get the like, share, subscribe buttons so that you really need. Alright. God, I'm a little out of practice on this. It's been a while. So I guess let's just jump right into it. Shall we, gang? Ooh. I need to stop the joviality. Because today we're going to get evil. It's going to get dark. We're going into Danzig land. Yeah. Alright. So, like I said, I got into the punk rock music when I was 14 years old. Back in 8th grade. Like end of 8th grade. So I was like 13 going on 14. And I had some friends that were getting me into some stuff, but then also my cousin, who's a few months younger than me, was kind of listening to some of this stuff too. And he comes over to my house with a cassette tape of a band called The Misfits, and the album was called Walk Among Us. And he's like, yeah, you want it? And I was like, sure. So I was listening to it, and I was like, it's pretty cool. And so I got on the internet that did not exist back then and was learning more about this band. And yeah, like I'd learned that the singer had another band called Samhain, whatever that voice thing was, which we'll get into when we get to the S's. Spoiler alert. But I'd also learned that he just formed a new band, or that Samhain had kind of morphed into a new band called Danzig. How's that for original thinking? So I picked up the album from Tower Records, I believe, and not this actual one, because like I said a few minutes ago, Hurricane Katrina and the Dinley. But yeah, same thing. It's a gatefold record. You got the whole band right here and almost life size. So that's cool. So it's like if you hold it up a certain distance, like maybe in front of a mirror, you could pretend like you're hanging out with the band. Like, hey, Harry, how's it going? It's like, yeah, whatever, man. What's up? Danzig. Glenn, what's going on, man? Shut up, man. All right. Chuck Biscuits, what's up? Yeah, I just want to play my drums. All right, yeah, I get that. Maybe have some Frankenberry or blueberry cereal. Oh, well, there's a deep cut for anyone out there who might have watched those Danzig VHS tapes. Sorry if you did. They were kind of cool. Maybe we'll talk about that in a minute. And how could I forget hiding over there off screen? Get back over here, John Christ. There he is. What's up, John Christ? Yeah, man, just playing my guitar. You know, whatever. Cool. Glad you guys could make it. Then on the other side, got the Danzig skull, which was a Sam Hain skull too, which was also I believe, Christar skull. Is it from a Chris Claremont comic, maybe? I remember seeing the thing, but yeah, because I'm also a comic book guy. But yeah, so this is not the original one that I had, but it was one that I picked up in New York when I was there about a month ago for Comic Con. And the wife and I went to some record stores, and I found this cool place called Generations Records. They had a lot of cool stuff, got an upstairs and a downstairs. But one of the things that I found was this, and I was like, oh my god, because yeah, I've not been able to find this on vinyl for a decent price. It's usually pretty expensive, $100, $200, something like that. I forget. I guess I could look it up on Discogs right now, but not gonna. So what you gonna do? Nothing, because you're over there and I'm over here, and it's my show, so go. But yeah, it was like $40 there. They had 2 copies. Now they've only got one. Or they might have none because maybe someone else bought the other one. But if you're looking for it, hit up Generation Records in New York. Call them, email them, fax them, or just go over there if you're in the area. Yeah, and so like I went back to the hotel and opened it up, and I was like, oh, this is cool. And then like I took out the record, and I was like, yeah, this is just how I remember it. But then when I took it out, I was like, this is not how I remember it. Mine was black. Black is evil. Yeah, this is an opaque orange color. And when I was looking at it, I saw like you could barely see the grooves. Like it looks super, super smooth. And even like when you touch it, which you shouldn't do, but like it felt as smooth as like the run out part. And so like I looked it up on Discogs, and I saw that this was a non-official release. So yeah. But I didn't really care about that because I'm not like a hardcore collector or anything. I just like the format. I like the way it feels. I like the way it looks. I like the analogness of it. Yeah, it's just cool. It's different. And that's kind of what drew me to it even when I was a kid, because, you know, other people were doing CDs and stuff. But I was like, nah, vinyl's cool. Yeah, no other real reason besides that. And you don't really need another reason besides that. Is it dumb? Maybe. Sure. But all hobbies are. But it's what you like. So whether it's comics, toys, records, sports, like it's all fucking dumb, but it's whatever brings you happiness. And that's what counts. But yeah, and so I was a little nervous with this being a bootleg, and especially since I didn't have my record player with me, because I didn't bring that up to New York, surprisingly. But I was worried that when I'd get home, you know, I'd put the old stylus down and the needle would just slide right across it. But it didn't. It stayed in the grooves, and it sounded amazing. Really, really good copy. I liked it. So whoever made this did a good job of it. The picture looks a little blurry and grainy, slightly, but maybe that's how the original one looked too. I don't remember. It's been almost 20 years since I saw my original record. But like the outside drawing part looks super crisp and clean and clear. And yeah, the record itself sounds great. There are like in the wax of the record, there are a couple of like little divots or dents or something. It doesn't cause any skips or anything. It actually, if anything, it just makes a couple of crackly noises. But it's a record, and I'm okay with that. I'm not one of these like hardcore audiophiles like you gotta get completely there. It's gotta be completely silent, and maybe the little divots might mess up the needle or the stylus, but you got to replace those things anyway. But it hasn't done any sort of major damage that I can tell so far. So yeah, it's a good copy. It's solid. I likes it a lot. It's so evil. And I was listening to it on Halloween because that's the evil's devil's plaything in my hand. But that's not a song on this album. But I have seen another bootleg place online. Maybe it was Ear Candy or Lunchbox. I don't know, one of those places. I think it was Ear Candy Music. And shit, I shouldn't have said that because now you're all going to rush out and get that copy of Lucifuge on vinyl. But I want it. So at least like save one copy. If you only see one copy left on the site because it says like how many I have in stock, don't order it. Leave it for me because I want to get it. Unless it's like you check back in 2 months, and if it's still only one copy, I guess go ahead and get it because maybe for whatever reason I didn't get it because I've kind of been picking up stereo equipment. Which, speaking of which, you're probably out there being like, what's up with that CD sitting on the Now Playing thing? Shouldn't that be vinyl? Isn't this a Vital Vinyl show? Yeah, forgot to mention that in the title. Welcome to Vital Vinyl. But I got a new CD player, and it's around 20 years old, but the front is brushed aluminum, so it looks like the 70s and 80s stereo equipment that I've been getting, which I'm gonna have to show sometime soon, because the old video where I show all my stereo stuff, it's kind of gotten changed. I've gotten like some vintage stereo equipment from the 70s or receiver, and got a tape deck coming in a couple of days, so I'll have to show that to you guys. But all right, I think that's everything that I wanted to talk about with this, but I don't really know because I don't really script this. But what are you gonna do? Nothing. Watch it or don't. Same here. Nothing I can do, but that's what keeps me coming back. So let's see. I'm gonna pick up this sleeve that I dropped. Hi. And I'm gonna put this back in there. And I'm gonna try and think if there was anything else that I could say about this before I turn the camera off. But I can't think of nothing now. So instead, we'll get a preview of the next episode, what we're going to talk about, and it is The Descendants. Dee 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 dee.